beautiful yogis. I'm Kit and welcome to Yoga in Kittopia. I hope you're all doing well. So today we are going to be doing 10 basic, not so basic yoga poses. So if you're like me, when you got your yoga wheel, you were like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. And then you kind of thought to yourself, okay, but what do I do now that I have this awesome prop? Well, I'm going to kind of help you guys out, show you some of the basics, and maybe a little bit more of the intermediate poses as well. So obviously what you're going to need today is a yoga wheel and also your mat. If you want, I'm going to leave a link in the description of the yoga wheel I have, but there are so many different varieties of yoga wheels, different sizes, and depending on your size, you probably need a specific type of yoga wheel. So they have those online, which is awesome. So the first one that we're going to do today is child's pose, which is one of my favorites. I will say though, if you have any issues with your shoulders, I would be careful with this one just because of the way the position is, and sometimes it can cause some issues. So just a little warning. So what we're going to do is I like doing wild child's pose. Wild? Okay. I like doing wide child's pose. So we have our knees to the edges of the mat. We go ahead and we take it this way, right? So our hands are grabbing the sides of the wheels. We breathe in and we exhale, rolling it out here. And you want to just kind of sink into the asana, making sure that our head is in line with our elbows, so our ears are beside the inside of our elbows. Wonderful. And we breathe in and breathe out, coming back up. Great. So you can stay there for 4 to 6 breaths. That's always a good one. Okay, great. So number 2, we are going to be doing puppy pose. But for me, the puppy pose, I'm not capable of getting my chest to the mat. A lot of people are, which is awesome. But don't worry, if you can't, you can still get the benefits of puppy pose. So we just have to make sure to remember that we keep our knees in line with our hips when we have them at a 90-degree angle. Okay, great. So here we are. Right, our tailbone is tucked. We touch. You can either put your hands, stack your hands on top of each other, or hold the wheel. So we roll it out. And we have this, right? Trying to sink the chest down to the mat and lifting the gaze just a little forward. Right? Great. So you can stay there for 4 to 6 breaths, just like child's pose. So now number 3 is going to be plank pose. So this one's a little more difficult to get into. Some people start with the wall, so they'll have the wall behind them. You can start in downward facing dog. That's what we're going to do today, right? So we'll keep the wheel down here, right? We have our feet together. Okay, so we're here. Make sure that your feet are pretty much with the wheel. And if you have a level floor, that's going to be to your benefit. If not, then it'll be interesting, okay? Like me. So here we are. We walk our hands out. And we go into plank. You can get your feet on there and then roll it back out, right? Making sure that the tailbone is tucked. Okay, I'm not perfect. Awesome, great. Drop the knees, come down. You can hold that anywhere if you want to do exercises in that pose for 30 seconds, a minute, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Now we're going to be going into seated forward fold, right? So from here, you can just turn around. Okay, so what we're going to be doing first is we'll put our heels onto the wheel. We'll put our heels on the wheel. Okay, great. So now we're going to lift up the sit bones. We're going to inhale, make sure that our back is long, our spine is straight. We can put the arms up like a normal seated fold. And using the chest forward, you can either grab underneath your thighs, your calves, or you can keep with your neck straight. And we can come down holding the wheel at whichever variation that you can go, that you need to go, that you can go. depending on where you are today in your practice, right? So you can hold there for about anywhere from 4 to 6 breaths, whatever makes you feel good. So from here, now we can do the other variation, right? So this is the second variation. So just like the last, right, we do our normal seated forward fold. We inhale and we exhale, bringing the chest down to the thighs if you are able to. If not, no worries. Okay, option 3, if you are flexible and you can do this third variation, I'm going to put a picture up so you can see what it looks like, but also I'm going to explain it, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna lift up the arms, and as you forward fold, depending on the size of your wheel as well, this is another factor, then you can go all the way to the end and grab the yoga wheel. So we are at pose 5. So we are going to be doing the half split pose. So how we do that, right? So we've got either doing it on the left or the right side. We've got one of our legs at a 90-degree angle, knees on the mat. The top of the foot is on the mat as well, right? So we roll it out, we roll it close to us. We can either roll it out a little, depending on where you would like it, where it needs to be. And then we place the Achilles tendon area right onto the yoga wheel. Make sure that this back knee is at a 90-degree angle, and we inhale and exhale into the half split with some assistance. If you need to put blocks here, do it. Why not? You know, you're already using one prop. Why not use another one? Okay, so we're here. Stay here for as many breaths as you like. Then slowly coming out of it. It's a little tricky. So if you have lower back problems, I would suggest just kind of like, look to the yoga wheel, like, hey, get out of here. Okay, great. So now we're going to be going on to pose number 6. And that is going to be the wide-legged kneeled pose, or the kneeled wide leg pose, whichever you prefer. So how we're going to do that, I'm going to be going on with my left leg. So you can follow with your left leg. You also do it with the other one too. So what we're going to be doing is we'll have our right knee down on the mat, foot going to the back wall, right? So the top of our foot is on either the mat or the floor. We need to make sure that this yoga wheel is at a line with our knees, right? To be careful. And then we can just roll it out. Okay. And we're here with our hands on the mat. You can put blocks underneath, you can drop down, making sure that the top of the knee is going to the other wall, to the front wall. So we're here, you can stay here for as long as you feel comfortable. You know, 4 to 6 breaths is always a good medium. Okay, great. So from here we're going to be going into fish pose, which is one of my all-time favorite poses, either with the wheel or without the wheel. It's always great. So from here, what we're going to be doing, right, is we will be going into fish pose as if we normally would when we're doing normal fish pose without the assistance of the prop. So I'm going in, I'm just rolling out the wheel, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to have the wheel in between the shoulder blades, but also be resting the neck and the head, a little bit the head, on the yoga wheel. So we want to make sure that it's up, but don't worry if at first you don't get it the exact place that you need to. Just keep adjusting until you get it right. So once you feel like, yeah, maybe this is it, then go ahead, coming up, and maybe just working it out there. See how I rolled it down to find the right place. Just adjusting it and then rolling it back out. And then tucking the tailbone, engaging the glutes, and relaxing. Staying here anywhere from 4 to 6 breaths, and just allowing the chest to open up. Great. Okay, so coming down slowly, bringing the head up, and shaking it out if you need to shake it out. Okay, great. So now we're going to be going on to our 8th pose, which is wheel pose, which is similar to fish pose, let's be real, but it is a little different. Okay, so what we'll be doing is we need to have our legs hip-width apart, our knees are bent, and we bring our feet closer into the glutes, not too close though, just where you find comfort. And then it's going to be similar, like I said, to the fish pose, but we're not going to be keeping our neck on the wheel, right? And we're going to have our arms lifted above the heads. If you find that you have issues with your shoulders here, slowly release the hands and then just bring the arms out wide. Some people say, oh, it's not wheel pose then. But if you have issues with your shoulders, just be careful as always, right? Okay, so we're here, going ahead and getting the wheel where it needs to be, or roughly where it needs to be. So from here, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna inhale, raising the hands up. And picking a mudra if you'd like to, you don't have to. And then coming up and having the sit bones a little bit down and just working it out. Again, if you have any shoulder pain here, then, just release. Oh, that felt great. My chest just popped. I needed that. Okay, great. And just relaxing the neck. Stay here for 4 to 6 breaths. Okay, fantastic. And we slowly drop down. We're exhaling, dropping down, and slowly releasing. Fantastic. Good job, you guys. Okay, so now we're going to be going into our next pose, which is the standing forward fold, which is a bit different than the seated forward fold. So, how we're going to do that is, first, we're going to go ahead and put the yoga wheel in between our feet to where the feet are framing the wheel, right? So we're here, making sure that the yoga wheel, it's not too far right behind you, but that it's pretty much in line with your heels, right? So we keep it there and slowly going down into forward fold. If you get to there, you can actually rest your head on the yoga wheel. Obviously, you can bend the knees, or you can clasp the elbows, allowing them to rest on the yoga wheel and just releasing any tension. And if you are doing a restorative day, you can actually stay here 30 seconds to a minute and a half, which is always good for restorative yoga. So yeah, that's how you do the standing forward fold with the yoga wheel. You can also grab down here, and that can kind of give you a little bit more leverage to come down. So yeah, love props. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is the half moon with the yoga wheel. So we're going to have our foot straight ahead. From here, we're going to go ahead, put a slight bend into your knee here, right? And then go ahead, make sure that the pressure and your weight is evenly distributed. We're gonna go ahead, you can put your hand, just find right at the top of the yoga wheel. Make sure that everything is engaged on this left side, right? Because I'm going in with my right foot up. Okay, great. So now we're gonna be turning our right hip, going to be facing towards the wall. Our right knee is going to be facing towards the wall as well, and we're going to open up the hips and the chest before we even lift off, okay? Right, so our right big toe is on the mat, finding balance, going ahead and making sure that we're focused, okay? We're going to slowly lift up this right leg. Don't worry if you falter, right? Still breathing, spotting on the floor or the front wall. Then we're going to do the best we can, taking up our right arm, trying to stack it on top of the left, right? Making sure that everything's open. And once you find a steady place, then we can change the gaze. And if you need to, just stay looking down. It's not a big deal. And opening up and bringing the right leg up a little bit more. And breathing out and coming back down. Staying there for as long as you feel comfortable, maybe 4 to 6 breaths. And just remember to be easy on yourself. That is an intermediate pose, and it takes time. So I even faltered a little. Did you see that? So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that this video helped you out, maybe gave you some more ideas that you can do with your yoga wheel, which is always fun. Make sure that when you're doing this, always to just be safe. Make sure that you're breathing and, you know, just have fun with it. That's what we're doing. We're having fun. We're having a good time, you know. I just want to let you guys know that I also have yoga-inspired workouts and a few yoga videos for mental health. You can check those out. I'll leave the link in the description. So I hope that you guys have a great morning, afternoon, or night wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to seeing you soon. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos from me, please subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. And have a fantastic day. Namaste. Bye.